Hey everyone, thanks for dropping by. And if you're new, I'm your host, Jonah. Welcome to the Blue Collar Enlightenment Show, where we learn new things every episode through conversations with guests from all around the globe. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with the journey. Enjoy the episode. Hey, Rani, thanks for coming on the podcast and joining me. I appreciate you taking the time. How are you doing today?
Hi, Jonah. Thank you for inviting me to speak on your podcast, The Blue Collar Enlightenment, and speaking to your audience. I am great and I am really excited to be with you and to be with your audience. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we were just bantering back and forth about kind of how our daily lives are going and how busy we are. Indeed. And this has actually been a kind of a long time in the works, you coming on the podcast. And it's going to be pretty awesome because right after we're done with this, we're going to roll into doing your podcast.
Okay. But it's the right timing, I think. It's the right timing. That's why we met now. It's the right timing. Yes. Yeah.
Two birds, one stone, as they say.
Yes.
So tell me and the listeners just a little bit about yourself, and let's get them caught up on you.
Okay. I am originally from Mauritius. I don't know if you've heard of that little island, which is in the Indian Ocean.
Nope, I haven't.
Okay. So that's where I am originally from. And I've been living in the UK for the past 14 years, I would say, around 14 years. And yes, I teach at the university. I teach human resource management. I've been teaching for about 13, 14 years in the UK. I've worked in China. I've worked a bit in Australia teaching human resource management. And I love traveling. I like baking, and I've discovered new talents since I've been on the journey of healing. So I've discovered talents like painting. So I do some painting now we're using acrylic. So I really love that. And I have a podcast called Amazing You and a YouTube channel. And I am a hypnotherapist part-time after my full-time job. So I do hypnotherapy. And the method that I use is called rapid transformational therapy. So the name tells you the changes are rapid compared to other therapies. And then I am also a Mars Venus life and relationship coach. I am an astrologer, tarot reader, and Lifeforce Compassion practitioner. And I have co-authored 2 books, and one book is with the well-known author. I'm sure you would have heard of him, Dr. John Gray from Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Have you heard of him, Jonah?
I have. My mother she shoved that book down our throats when we were younger.
Okay. So together with him and my fellow 30 other coaches, I co-authored in that book, and I've got a chapter, I think it's chapter 4, which is called The Best Investment You Will Ever Make. And the book is called Love and Coaching. And then the second book I have co-authored with a lady, another co-author called Susie Dent. She's from Australia. And the book is called Bare Naked and Beautiful. So these are all the things that I do, Jonah.
Oh, that's quite a few hats you have wearing there. So let's start off with your being an educator, and you actually work at the University of Nottingham. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, Jonah. Yes.
That's a very famous one on the top of that. And you teach, you said, human resources management.
Yes.
What does that pertell?
Okay, it is about how you manage people in the workplace. It's about managing people in the workplace. How you manage people in the workplace. It is the soft side of management. So it's about the people management side. That's what I look at. So I help students to get a better understanding how organizations manage their people in terms of, I'm sure you would, as a manager, you would be involved in that in terms of recruitment. You would have to recruit staff. So I teach students on how to recruit, what are the steps, what are the procedures, how to do exit interviews that you might be familiar. So it's about performance appraisal. It's about, we cover different topics like ethics, human resource management and ethics, because there are ethical procedures that employees need to follow in organizations. And so I also cover other topics like compensation, which is a very important part, compensation. So it is all about managing people. It's the soft side of management. That's what I would say.
And so do these people who graduate from this class and go to these companies, are they dictated by the company policy, or are they able to implement their own rules and regulations?
They are dictated by the company's policy, because human resource managers have to work closely with CEOs and with board of directors, and depending on what the people from the top will decide, then they will have to implement, because they will have to follow the strategy of the company. So, but they will also have their say in encouraging CEOs to invest more in resources, in managing the people in terms of welfare, in terms of mental health, in terms of equality and diversity. So they do have a big say nowadays in the convincing, in encouraging CEOs who usually think about profits, because it's a lot to do about making sure your employees are happy in the workplace. And I don't know, I'm sure you would have heard of Sir Richard Branson from Virgin Media, Virgin Atlantic. Have you heard of him?
I haven't.
He's the CEO of Virgin Media, Virgin Atlantic, the airline. So he said,
No, I know you're
I'm sure you would have heard of him. Yes. And he said, when you look after your employees will look after your customers. So that's what human resource encourage managers to support their employees, so that then employees will do the work. And when they support their customers, the customers will bring profits. But most of the time it's the other way around. CEOs want to make profits, so they are not looking at the people side of management.
Yeah, speaking from a manager's side of things.
Yes.
And you were talking about recruitment, and that's one of the things you have to make sure that you have your boss's side on things,
yes,
and that he will back you up on the things that you say to these people.
Yes.
Because they take it to heart. And
yes,
working in the trade that I work in, there's not very many of us.
Right.
And so when it comes to recruitment, trying to get people, pull people from other companies, especially when everybody knows everybody anyway, it's a tough task.
Yes.
And so you have to promise more
yes,
to them than some of these other companies. And so you get kind of into a bidding war with their person.
Yes.
And it's crazy. But there's also that side where people don't want to work these days.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so I've seen a drop in, I see now hiring signs on every window of almost every business that I drive by. And it's just astounding how hard it is to get people to want to get back to work, I guess. Either that, or it's just the demand for things have just gotten so high that,
yes,
there's not enough people to fill all the positions.
Yes, and I think what's happening also, people have realized that many companies do not treat their people well.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people have started their own businesses during the pandemic and until now. And they don't want to go back to these bosses again. No. They refuse to go back to be treated poorly. A lot of people say, no, I prefer to do something else. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of that has to do with management and the upper side of things.
Absolutely.
And I try to keep it very camaraderie when we're at work because it already sucks enough to be there.
Yes.
So you might as well make it, at least pleasant to be around the people that you work with.
Yes.
And, I work at a very small company. There's only probably, we've grown quite a bit. I think there's close to 10 of us.
Okay.
But, I work with the same 5 people on a daily basis. And so, keeping that camaraderie and that what's the word I was looking for?
Make it like friendly atmosphere and
morality.
Yes.
Keep the morale high. Yeah. What they say. So.
And that's very important.
Understand that.
It's really nice. It's really nice when you are a small company. You all get to know each other. I was teaching my students I was sharing with them on the topic on entrepreneurship. When you work for a small business or when you have a small business, how nice it is when you know each other. It's like a family when it's a small company.
Mm-hmm. It's a family-owned company.
Okay.
Well, it's an LLC, but it's family-owned by his wife is in the office, and he's right there next to her. You'll walk into the office and they'll be back and forth at each other. It's a great atmosphere to work in, and I'll give it to my bosses. He will set you up with exactly what you need and make your life easy.
That's
great.
Nice. That's nice. Yeah. It's nice to have a good manager, a good boss. It is. It makes a huge difference to your.
Oh, it is. And when I first came on, it was just me, him, one of the guys that I had, an apprentice that I had with me, and his wife. That was it when we first started.
Right.
And that was a little over 3 years ago, I think. And now we've grown to, almost 10 people, salesmen and other managers and things like that. It's pretty awesome.
That's good.
Especially to see it grow.
Yeah. Yes, it's nice. It's a good sign when the company is growing. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
But anyway, back to you.
Yes.
Get a little sidetracked. That's okay. So your rapid transformational therapy.
That's correct.
So that coincides with what we call here in the state. This is a conversation I think we had in a previous meeting about. We call it hypnosis here in the U.S.
That's correct. Yes.
And you guys call it hypnotherapy.
Yes.
So, how did those coincide? Because I know there's other ways to do rapid transformational processes, correct?
I am not sure of other modalities. I know there are many other modalities, but this hypnosis that I do, it's really a mixture of different modalities. And the founder, who is called Marissa Peer, she really thought very well about it when she put it together, all these different techniques that we use to help the clients. And it's very effective, I can tell you. I have clients from all over the world, and the transformation is very quick, not only on them, but on myself. I tried it. You have to do it on yourself first before you can go out and help others. And I was at a point in my life, Jonah, where my whole life as a child, I felt very empty. My grandmother passed away at 4. When I was 4 years old, I deeply miss her my whole life. And as a child, there was nobody to tell me what was going on when she passed away. So I grew up feeling empty within myself, having a low self-esteem, suffering from abuse, from physical abuse. And as I grew up, I started facing bullying because I had low self-esteem. So I moved from one job to another, Jonah. And that wasn't pleasant because not only I moved job within the academic world in the UK, so I moved from one place to another, from London to Hull to Cambridge, every year or every 2 years. It's like I was having itchy feet. I couldn't stay in one job because of I had challenging relationship with my bosses. Most of the time it's with bosses. I was being bullied. And then this was a pattern that was repeating for about 5 or 6 jobs like that. And then I say in 2014, 2015, I say, there is a pattern here I can see. I have been asking myself a lot of questions. And I realized that no, I need to put a stop to that because I can't keep living a life like that. I always invest a lot in the job. I give my 100%, but I don't seem to get anything back in return, in any promotion or anything. And it takes so much of my energy. I feel drained after work, and I have no time for anything else. It's like I have to fight every day. I am in a fight mode every day. So I am under stress. And when I decided in 2015 to start looking, I only found the right thing, the right modality to help me was when the pandemic hit. So that was a blessing, the pandemic, for me when it hit. And I found that course, it appeared on my Facebook, that hypnotherapy course. I said, yes, I'm not going to look back. I'm just going to enroll and do it. And when I did it, I did the foundation, I did all the courses, and I am now a clinical hypnotherapist. And this course was life-changing for me, Jonah. I suffered from, I'm sure you would have heard of irritable bowel syndrome. So whatever you eat, the bowel is bloated, and this technique has helped me to get rid of it. I suffered from it for years, Jonah, and it was getting louder and louder because it's my body trying to tell me I need to address the stress, and I didn't know how until I did hypnotherapy. So I had sessions on different issues because I had a lot of traumas to heal. So when I did the hypnotherapy, my life has changed. I had more self-confidence, more self-esteem, no irritable bowel syndrome. I can eat everything now. I can eat bread in moderation, nothing in excess, like everything in moderation. I can eat, go to restaurant. It's like I live again. And I've discovered things about myself that I didn't know. Like I could never eat peanut my whole life, peanut butter. And after doing the hypnotherapy, I found out I love peanut butter, which is funny. So I am rediscovering myself. I'm rediscovering my talents. And after hypnotherapy, I did other things, other modalities. I did a bit of breathing to help to regulate my nervous system, and it's so important. I did compassion session, and I also trained as a practitioner. I did astrology. I did chakra healing. So all these modalities have helped me, I would say. But the life-changing one was the hypnotherapy. So it's really rapid. That's why I want to say the changes. It's not you have to go for years to therapy, but it is very quick. Within three months, you see the change. Not only the change in your daily habits, but in the change in the way you think as well. You think more positive. You think more in terms of gratitude, of abundance. Before I was in a scarcity mode, I would see everything was dark. Everything was like there was not enough. But after that, my mindset has changed completely, I would say. Completely. Yes. So it's really rapid transformational because in that there is what we do is we help the clients to reprogram their brain. So we do neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. So we include that and we give them an audio as well. So it's very, very powerful modality, hypnotherapy, hypnosis. Yes. So
So what type of techniques do you use with clients when you sit down with a session?
We use different techniques to help to heal their inner child, to help to heal from their traumas. We use technique like healing vortex. So we use a kind of energy to help clean, to remove all the different dark energies within us. And we use other different techniques in the session with the client. So we use a bit of psychotherapy. There are other, I can't remember the names, but we use different psychology, neuro-linguistic programming, different types of therapies that we bring together. Yeah.
And what's the process to get somebody into a stage of hypnosis?
Oh, it's very easy. It's very quick. It's very quick and very easy to get into that, Jonah. We always make sure that the people do not suffer from epilepsy or psychosis or schizophrenia. But it is hypnosis is just the relaxation of the nervous system. But you are not asleep at any point. It is about being receptive. That's what hypnosis is about. So you're just in a state of relaxation, but you are receptive, and I ask the clients questions throughout the session to heal their past, to heal their traumas, to heal their childhood traumas. Yes. So we can do it in groups. So I do group sessions online, and I do one-to-one session. They are very long. They are about 3 hours, 2.5 or 3 hours. So we go deep. We go to the root cause of the issue. So if, let's say, somebody has depression, so in the session we will go to the root cause and go back to their childhood and find out where, when they acquired that depression. Because everything we acquire, Jonah, in this life, any depression, any anxiety, any fear, it's all acquired. It's our environment, the way it is conditioned, we acquire all these things as we grow up. And that's why we have to clean it up as we grow up. As we grow up, we find out we are facing challenges, so it's good to clean up. That's why we do the inner work. We clean up and peel off those layers to become who we are, because at the essence, we are love, we are light. So when we peel off those layers, we become alive, we become, how would I say? We can find connection not only with ourselves, but we are better able to connect with others and understand ourselves and understand others. So that's the journey we are all on. Understanding ourselves, and after that we help others.
Okay, so in a sense, you're kind of just setting yourself free.
Yes, liberating, setting yourself free. Absolutely, you got it. Yes.
Hey, so I know there's a lot of misconceptions about hypnosis and the things that it's what it brings. What you do is different than what people see on TV and what they call stage hypnosis.
Yes.
So,
yes, Jonah, it is completely different. That's what I tell clients. You are not going to stand up and fall suddenly. No, it's not like stage hypnosis. It is just here. You will be seated and you will be just in a deep relaxation. That's what it is. Well, that's what I do. I put the client in a deeply relaxed state that I can access their subconscious mind, and they are receptive to changing the old subconscious beliefs that have been set there, that have been seated there for a long time. That's what we do.
That's funny because you kind of read my mind there, because that was my next question is when you're in that relaxed stage,
yes,
you're probably being able to reach deep within your subconscious mind.
Yes.
So how do you differ from what is thought to be real and what is the actual issue?
You know, the subconscious mind is very intelligent. And when you ask the mind a question, when you are in a relaxed state, the subconscious mind, it's like a software that has stored all the information. That's why we are like a computer. We are a computer. We are the most powerful computer on earth. And our subconscious mind is that computer. It has stored every information that our conscious mind can't even remember. And it's only when you are in that stage of hypnosis, when you are in a relaxed state, that you can access this information. And if you are awake, you won't even remember. So the mind is very, very intelligent. When we ask the question to the mind will give you the right scene, the right event that has caused the issue. It's the mind. That's why when I watch, now I can understand the movie of Aladdin. Do you know the story of Aladdin?
Yes.
Yeah. And he talks about the genius. You know, he rubs the jar and then the genius appears. But the genius is our subconscious mind. It has the information. Now I've realized, because whatever we ask our mind, it will give us. If we imagine, we sit down every day, we imagine the life we want, our mind will give us that. Definitely, we will see that happening. And people have done it. Use their imagination to create the life they want. Yes. Yeah. It is the most marvelous thing, our mind. Yeah. And I think anybody want to know more? Bob Proctor explained that so well. Are you familiar with the work of Bob Proctor?
I'm not.
Okay. He explained that so easily, like a child can understand. He talked about the conscious mind, that everything is dumped in our conscious mind as we grow, but then it gets stored in our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind stores information for years, and then these information, they start to go into the body as well. Like if we've been hurt as a child, our body, our emotion will store that in the body. So it's very, very interesting how the thought that we think will create our feelings, will make us feel a certain way. Let's say you think that you have a fear of jumping, for example. So when you create that fear, that thought, what will be the feeling when you think that, no, I can't jump? What feeling will come up for you?
Probably, the afraid feeling.
Yes.
Being scared.
Absolutely.
Of that nature.
So when you are scared and you are afraid, what kind of action will you take?
You get
or not take?
Your anxiety builds, so you get pretty timid.
Yes. You won't be jumping. And the result is it will stop you. You won't be able to achieve your goals. So it's all starts with our thinking. Everything starts with our thinking. And Marisa always, the lady with whom I learned the hypnotherapy, she said it goes to two things. It's the words we say to ourselves and the pictures we make in our mind. That creates our life. And if we change the pictures in our mind and we change the words we say to ourselves, we change our life.
Change your perspective.
Yes.
And change the way you think, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
You always, there's always that the voice in your head that tells you not to do stuff.
Yes.
It's always telling you whether you're bad at something or whether you're, you look bad today. It's that negative voice.
Yes.
And so does hypnotherapy teach you to shut that voice up?
Absolutely. It helps you to stop that voice and to listen to your heart more. And to change that voice, that negative voice, by thinking more positive for yourself in order to create a different life for yourself. So that's what we help clients with, to get rid of that negative voice, because every client that I come, every trauma that they have, that I had, it's related to the thought that I created, that I attached to that specific event in the past. So it's not about the event, but it's it's not the event that happened, but it's the feeling that we created, that we attached to that event, that created the trauma. Because we still feel, oh, this thing happened in the past, so I still feel scared, I can't do this, so it's still the feeling that we attach. So when we get rid of that negative thought, it creates marvelous things for us, marvelous things. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, there's other things that contribute to that, those negative thoughts,
Yes. Oh,
outside noise, social media.
Yes.
The way, we look at things.
Oh, yes. Our environment, our family, our conditioning, our school. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
When we glamorize the way the Kardashians are, yes, it makes our life look horrible.
Yes.
And so, of course, that negative feeling is going to be fed.
Yes.
And so
we have to guard our mind. That's why they say we have to guard our mind, what we watch, what we say as well, and what we think. So it's very, very important. Like, I don't watch the news at all, Jonah. I don't. It might sound funny, but I haven't watched for 3 years. And people tell me when things happen. I say, okay, I am concerned, but not consumed about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I am the same way. I don't watch movies no more. I don't watch the news.
Yeah.
There is a few movies I've watched here in the last few months because I have a buddy that he's an actor, and I wanted to definitely watch his movies.
Yes.
And it's definitely a good feeling when you can turn all that noise off.
Yes.
And how much clearer your life becomes, and how much you actually get to step back and think, and you get to see everything that's going on because you're not getting fed the same stuff.
Absolutely.
And so you can process in a different mindset, and you get to think, this is all wrong.
Yes. So you are not controlled by your environment, but you are able to control your thinking.
Yeah. And one thing that I have learned, and I think I brought this up in probably one of my past episodes, is I just lost my train of thought.
It will come back. It will.
Dadgummit, what was I going to say? Is training that negative voice. If you can't get rid of it completely, at least train it to attack the correct things.
Yes.
So say your career. Look at your career and use that negative feedback as energy to make yourself better.
Yes. Yeah.
If that's some advice that I could give somebody, is take the negative feedback that you're getting in your brain and use it to fuel yourself to be better for the day.
Yes. Yeah. I recently had a very interesting story. It's a real one. There was a lady. She was having a lot of negative thoughts, Jonah. She was dreaming. She was having nightmares. And she one day even told me she was such in a very deep hole with her negative thinking, and it was spiraling and growing. And one day she even told me, she will die young and she will commit suicide. I say, no, you need to stop that. You need to stop that and that way of thinking was preventing her from finding a job, Jonah. And I told her, you can't continue like that. And I told her, you need to stop that now because that's not the life you want to live. You can't continue like that. And she told me, what do I do? I say, she didn't know what to do. I say, first thing is start to do some gratitude. So I told her to every day write down 5 things that she's grateful and send that to me on my WhatsApp to make sure that she's doing the work, and to really feel everything that she's grateful for, the 5 things. Jonah, she's been doing that for 30 days. You won't believe her life turned around in a positive way. She found the light. She found a job that she started applying. Her ways of thinking has changed. She thinks more positive. It completely changes your life when you start doing that. Because, when you are in a gratitude attitude, when you are grateful for what you have now, it helps to bring in more abundance. And it helps that negative thinking to stop. Because every time you are thinking negative, you say, no, I am grateful for, you turn it around. I am grateful for a roof over my head. So then you stop that negative thinking. So for anybody listening, watching today, having negative thoughts, start to do gratitude in the morning. And every time a negative thought comes during the day, think of what you are grateful for. And as you do that, and do that practice for 30 days consecutively, the negative thought will go. It will go, Jonah. I've been doing that for 3 years. I am grateful for everything and anything. And more abundance keep coming.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's a great way to go about it. That's, me personally, the self-gratification is just the first step.
Yes.
When you feel that self-gratification and you get to that point where it's time to move on, then you're going to start critiquing yourself. So for me, I do that. I'm very self-gratified about the things that I can do, especially when it comes to work, things like that. But I always have that negative side of me, and it's going to be hard to get rid of saying it could be better. Because I like to utilize that, and I like to feed myself off of that to make myself grow within my own life, and it could be anything. I say, hey, I'm very grateful for my house.
Yes.
But I can make it better.
Absolutely. Oh, yes, you can make it better. Yes, yeah. If you use it in a positive way to make things better, that's good. Yes, that's really good.
Yeah, that's a big way to turn that negative into a positive, is make it to feed off of it.
Yes. Yeah.
There's that saying of be hungry as the lion and eat.
Yes.
So stay hungry.
Yes, yeah, you have to stay hungry. Have you heard of Les Brown? He say his book is entitled There is Greatness Within You, but he talks about having that hunger, because when you have that hunger for things, you will want to do more, you will want to improve yourself. So I agree with what you said. Yeah.
Right, and you are a compassion compassion practitioner.
Yes, that's correct.
But before we get to that, hold on. I had one more question about the hypnotherapy part.
Okay.
Could you tell some of the listeners, some of the misconceptions about hypnotherapy that you would normally get within a session, maybe?
What do you mean by misconceptions, Jonah?
We were talking about the difference between your type of hypnotherapy and the stage type.
Yes.
So do you ever get people saying they're going to come in or worried that that you're going to change their their mindset for the bad and things like that and try to control them?
What I have is people tend to mistake it for stage hypnosis. So I would explain to them, I always give a 30 minutes free session before the session just to help them to understand what is hypnosis. It is not stage hypnosis. They don't have to worry. And in order to help them for the session, I always give them a 10 minutes pre-audio session, and that helps them to practice. And then when they come to the session, they are fully prepared. You have to prepare them to get them in that mood and to make them feel safe. And I think that's very important. When the client feels safe, they will be able to let go of the negative beliefs that they are holding back. So I create that safe environment before the session to help them to prepare to have a great session.
Okay. Well, that answers that. So, yeah, we can move on to the compassion practitioner.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit about that and what you actually do as a practitioner of that?
I love that practice. I love that practice because it is as deep as hypnotherapy. I experienced it myself. I wanted to heal my different traumas. So what it is, it's very similar to hypnotherapy, except that you are not under hypnosis. We use similar techniques. We heal the inner child. But here, we do it in a compassionate way, where we give compassion to that inner child within each one of us. And the client we will guide the client through the session. And it is as powerful because I have seen clients crying, letting go of things that they've suppressed their emotions for years in that session. It is a very, very deep session, I can say. Yeah, it is as powerful as hypnosis. Yeah.
And how has that impacted your life becoming a practitioner of that?
It's very interesting how I got involved into doing all these modalities. I have done research on work-life balance, and I never had balance in my life. And my PhD thesis is on work-life balance, so I never had balance, and I always wanted to understand, but it is only when I started going within, doing hypnosis, compassion, that's when I started having balance in my life. So it's about going inside and not outside.
And what are the types of methods do you use during your sessions?
During the compassion session, we use the only technique we use is giving love, giving compassion to that inner child. That's the basic technique that we use. It's very deep, and you give love, you give, compassion to that inner part of you that have experienced all the traumas. And we mirror that to the client. You see? We mirror that. What the client say, we mirror that. We say, I understand that you feel so sad. We mirror that, and the client will repeat that.
And so do you try to bring up those past, do you try to get them as close to that situational emotion as possible when trying to fix?
Yes.
You're not fixing it. It's enlightening them on the understanding of the situation.
Yes. They come up with a specific issue, And then we go deeper. We try to find the emotion, because it is always the suppressed emotion that create stuck energies in the body, and that create sicknesses, then create all kind of stress in the body. So we go as close as to the closest emotion related to that event. Yes.
Yeah, because stress is one of the most toxic things that you could do to yourself.
Yes.
I mean, it literally will break you down. It'll give you ulcers.
Yeah.
And make you nauseous, things of that nature.
But the stress has a cause. It has a root, It is somewhere in the childhood. Very often I had clients. I also do past life regression in hypnosis. And a lot of time I have seen that when clients go back to the womb of the mother, they feel so, they experience so many feelings that their mom is experiencing. And they store that in their little embryo from 6 weeks. It's so powerful it's only when you go into these sessions that you find out how much we store of our mother's emotions, but sometimes if let's say when the mother is pregnant and she's having an argument with the husband, the baby feel that inside, feel the outside world of the parent, feel the world of the parent, and then store these emotions and feel that they are not loved, feel that they are not safe enough inside. They don't want to come out of the womb. Yeah.
Would sensory deprivation be a type of that, getting into that relaxed stage and going down into your subconscious mind? Would you consider that maybe like a type of hypnosis that we put ourselves in?
What do you mean by sensory deprivation?
Have you heard of those sensory deprivation to the float tanks?
No.
Oh, you haven't heard of those?
No.
Oh, you got to check this out. Oh,
okay.
No. So there's these tanks that you can get into, and it's highly salted water that you just float in.
Okay.
And so it's a chamber that they shut, and it's soundproof, no lights.
Right.
And so you just sit and float in the water.
In the dark?
In the dark.
By yourself?
By yourself.
For how long?
I think some people say they go up in there for, an hour to 2 hours at a time.
Right. And what do they experience from staying there?
It could be anything.
Oh.
I've heard so many stories. I dive down these stupid rabbit holes sometimes, and it takes me to, whether it's true or not, but some people say they have hallucinations to where, they go to a different realm and things like that. They go back in time. They have, hallucinations. Some people can't handle it. Within 5 minutes, they have to take themselves out of the situation, and so they get out. But some people say that it's the most clearing thing that they've ever done. I
do think it's a great thing, because it's a bit like doing meditation, It's sitting with yourself by yourself. And some people can sit for 5 minutes, some people can sit for an hour. So it's about this technique that you mentioned. It's all about going within and being by yourself and being in your own space, because we are so much consumed by the noise outside.
Right.
Sitting in the tank inside, it's an opportunity to go within ourselves and to find ourselves. I think it's a great technique. I haven't experienced it, but everything that you do sitting by yourself will help you to heal. Yes.
They have whole darkness huts out in the middle of woods. They have where you can spend up to 7 days in the darkness, no light.
Right.
Yeah, and they'll bring you food
Okay.
at night. They'll give you the food. They make sure you're okay,
Right.
but you just spend your whole time in the darkness.
Okay. I prefer
No
to do.
phone,
I
nothing.
prefer to do hypnosis. I sit in my home and I sit for 3 hours. I get things cleared. I don't need to. But for some people, if going in the forest and doing that helps them. That's good.
Yeah, I guess some people see it as a retreat. I could see doing the sensory deprivation thing for probably 30 minutes. Is probably all the time I got, and so I don't think that I would want to get that deep into my subconscious mind.
You know why people are so scared? Because they are so scared to feel the emotions.
You're probably not even lying. I'm not even going to.
Because when you feel, I can tell you, when you feel these emotions coming, you have to let it go and cry. But when you let it go and cry, it's a relief. It's freedom. It's like you are set free. You are set free.
If you could, I'd have to find me a nice dark. I'll do it in the sensory deprivation tank so nobody can see me.
If you want to try the hypnosis, I'll be happy to one day give you a session. Yeah.
That would be pretty interesting. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
I would definitely be willing to try it.
You would love it. You would love it. The things your subconscious mind will bring up regarding the specific issue, you will get so much understanding from it. And then you will see where it's coming from. You will understand it. And then you will let it go in the session. And then you will reprogram your mind to think more positive so that this kind of negative thought doesn't impact you again. So it's really, really beautiful, these sessions.
I don't know. I think I'd be scared to lose my negative thought.
But it's not yours.
So hard.
It's not yours, Jonah.
Yeah, but
it gives me a hard time, but it's not yours.
I use him to propel me forward in my endeavors.
But why do you have to suffer like that with it, rather than going in your heart? Going in your heart will give you answers. Your heart will tell you what you need to do. It's like the mind. It's like the devil.
Oh, you ain't lying. It'll screw you over in an instant.
But the heart is the divine within you that will guide you. Yeah.
It is your lifeline. If it don't beat, you don't live.
No.
But I'd still be willing to do it. But I'd be scared to lose him because he,
But what is it helping you? What is it giving you, that negative thought? How is it helping? What is it giving you? Motivation.
Motivation.
Other than that, what else is it giving you?
Not a lot.
Why do you want to keep it?
It's a good question. Well, oh man.
Because I know why you want to keep it. I'll tell you. Because it's so familiar to you. Because it's been with you for so long. But if you lose it, it will be something unfamiliar. It's like as if you will be on your own. You will be able to think by yourself. You see? So that's why you don't want to lose it. It's becoming a companion. Even if it's giving you struggle, but it's like a companion that you are familiar. That's all you know from a child. It has been there. But when you were a baby, it wasn't there. But as you grew up, that negative thought became your friend. But now to lose it will be like losing somebody. It will be grieving. It will make you feel empty, but it's not serving you. You can replace it with other nice things. What about if you have a positive thought, which is your companion?
man, I don't know if I could handle having a positive bully in my life.
Why? It will make you do great things, Jonah.
You're probably right.
It will encourage you. It's like a cheerleader in your head.
Oh, my heart's my cheerleader, like you were saying. My gratitude towards the things I do trumps over what he says.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to feed off of what he's telling me to vindicate that he is wrong. So I get even more self-gratification. Okay. So I think to me, it's all those people that told me that you can't do it, you can't do it. And then I say, well, as we say here, hold my beer. And so I think it's just that my whole life of hearing that, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's probably stuck with me, but,
It's not you.
No.
It's not you.
But it's definitely driven me to be where I am today,
But it's also stopping you. It's also stopping you from being the best version of you that you could be, that you are meant to be.
You're probably right. And like I say, we'll do it. We'll definitely sit it down and do it.
Definitely. I'll be more than happy to help you to get rid of that.
And looky there. We're at 56 minutes.
I know.
That went by like nothing, didn't it? We were talking earlier. We were asking about how long we wanted to go, and it's just like as long as we could take it. So during your compassion sessions,
yes.
when you get to that breakthrough, do you yourself use it as it could go for any of your sessions. Do you use that moment of their enlightenment as a stage for yourself?
Yes, it's very interesting question, Jonah, because most of my clients that come to me, whether it's hypnotherapy or for compassion, they all come with their issues, but that helps me in my healing as well. Every one of them, it's like when I help them to heal themselves, I am not a healer. I help them to heal themselves. I am just an instrument and I guide them. But that helps me to understand my own situation and to heal myself. Yeah.
And do you ever get clients that are kind of stubborn and it's kind of hard to get down into their mind?
Yes.
And they fight you through a little bit of it?
Yes, I had a few of them. Not many, because I always ask them a few questions. That's why I have the free discovery call at the beginning to see whether they are a good fit. If they are going to be stubborn and not willing to be open-minded, it won't work. They have to be willing to change and be open to let go and really want to change to turn their life around.
So what you're actually doing, you don't have one of those little trinkets. You do.
I do have a magic
wand.
No, I'm just kidding. I do abracadabra.
It has a light on it. Oh, man. Follow the blinky light. Oh,
No. I just lead them to different questions. Like I've been asking you a few questions, so I'll lead them to different questions that help them get the understanding. That's what it is. Because understanding is power.
Knowledge is power.
And understanding is power as well. Understanding is power, but it also frees you. It liberates you from the prison of your mind. Yeah.
And so post appointments and
yes.
when these people are, going back to their normal lives, what are some of the daily techniques that you try to give them if a situation comes to help them get through it?
There are different techniques depending on different clients. Usually, when they listen to their audio, because I give them a personalized audio based on their issue to clear this specific issue. And if they listen to that audio, because it is part of the therapy, if they listen to that audio regularly for 30 days, and even after the session, they'll be fine, even after the 30 days. It will help them a lot to help them to move ahead. So, because in that audio, I put a lot of things, a lot of positive things of helping them to reprogram their neurons in their brain. So the audio is key, I would say, to them moving forward to transforming their lives, listening to the audio.
And what would you tell somebody looking to get into this particular field? What would you say to them?
What would I say to them? They need to experience it themselves. I think it's very important, everything that you do. You experience it, you see the benefits on yourself, and then you can help others. Because until you experience it, then you will see how powerful this tool is. Yeah.
So do you ever go to hypnotherapist conventions? Do they have those in the UK?
They do have online conventions, yes. They do have conventions. And I also keep following the mentor that I had. So she does regular webinars, so we keep learning. But the greatest place that you can learn is with your clients. Every client is a new case. Every client, you learn something new. I think the place that I learn more, because every client is unique, Jonah. Every client comes with a different issue. It's like, as you practice, you become a master of your craft. So it's by practicing. It's a bit like apprenticeship. You have to practice to master your craft. Yes. So
every different therapist probably has their own different ways of doing things. You probably do stuff different than your protege.
Yes. But if we learn the same technique, we will do it the same way. If we learn the same method with that teacher, we will all be doing it. Like with Marissa Peer, we all have to follow the same process. Yeah.
And so, did you go? So you went through a course for this,
yes.
But within your travels, one of the places you traveled to study is Australia, right?
I did study for 5.5 years in Australia.
And when you went to China, were you studying there or were you teaching there?
I was teaching there, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I did my master's and PhD in Australia. And then my first job after my PhD was in China.
Wow.
It was like, I wasn't sure of taking that job. I was crying for 3 days because at that time, 2008, not many foreigners would go there, In 2008, 2007, it's like a new world there. It's like a new territory, unfamiliar territory for me. It was unfamiliar because it's a different language and different culture. That's why I was crying, because it was unfamiliar and I didn't know what to expect. But when I went there, I was pleasantly very surprised. It was a great working environment. The people are nice, even if we don't understand each other. I learned the language a little bit of the Mandarin, but I had lovely colleagues. I had a great life, a lot of friends. It was the best experience of my life, going into the unfamiliar.
Well, that's freaking crazy. So, what are some of the interesting things that you got to see during your travels in Australia and China? And I'm sure you've been to a lot more places than that.
Yes. Oh, the place there are some really beautiful place. Oh, Australia is so beautiful everywhere you go. But what I like most, I'm sure you would have heard of it, it's the Great Ocean Road, where you see the apostles, so these rock formation in the sea. It's like the 12 apostles in the sea.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah. Oh, Jonah, it's like, even when you take the picture, it's so beautiful, the colors. Even the photos look real when you look at the photos. It's so, so beautiful. The nature is the sceneries are extremely beautiful in Australia. Yeah, I went to Sydney, which is the Darling Harbour. Then I went to the Blue Mountains. Oh, it was beautiful, the Blue Mountains.
I got to, while I was in the military, I got to go down to Perth, Australia.
Oh, did you?
I got to hang out there.
Oh, haven't seen that side, the western side. Yeah, did you like it?
Oh, I did. I loved it. The people there were amazing. The food, the atmosphere.
Yes.
Just the atmosphere itself is just great.
Yes, it's very laid back, and people spend a lot of time outdoors, which is lovely. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome culture.
Oh, it is indeed. Yeah.
Well, I got a few more questions for you, and then we'll wrap things up, and then we're going to do your podcast.
Yes, sure.
So what has been the most enlightening moment of your journey?
The most enlightening moment, there have been so many, but I would say having the opportunity to meet some great spiritual masters from India. This has been, it's like when you are in the presence of these spiritual masters, it's like you forget everything. It's like you feel a joy and a happiness that when you do your daily things, you don't experience, because you are in silence, you sit by yourself, even if you are in a crowd, but it's a joy, and I can't explain it. It was such memorable times when I look back. And I was thinking of that today. I said that those times I will not get it, but these were the best time of my life. I was, I think, early 20s. And at that time we were really seeking to understand ourselves and understand spirituality. And we had opportunities to meet many, many great masters, like many of these masters from the East, from India, yeah, and to travel to India, because though I look Indian, but I come from a different country, so going to India, it's completely a different culture over there. The food is different. It's like another world. Yeah, it's completely another world. Yeah, but it was a very memorable experience, very great experience. Yeah. To be in the presence of those great masters, yeah.
Being able to travel and being able to meet all those interesting people is.
Yes, yeah.
I'd love to bring you back on and hear about those stories and all those different things, and we can always set it up again.
Definitely.
So where can everybody find you? I know you have a website.
Yes.
You want to tell everybody what it is?
Yes, I've got a few websites, but the two websites they can go is mousevenuscoachrani.com. So I've put all the modalities that I do. So I am a life and relationship coach. I do astrology, tarot reading, hypnotherapy, compassion sessions. So they'll find everything in that. And then I have one specific website only for the hypnotherapy, which is Dr. Rani Thanacoody.com. So they'll find the specific information that is related to hypnotherapy, to the session, testimonials, so they can go there and then even book a session. There is my Calendly link, so they are free to book a 30 minutes free discovery call to have a chat and see where we can go, how I can help them and serve them.
And I'll make sure to put the links down in the description of the episode. And
okay, thank you.
I appreciate you so much coming on, and we'll come back on because we didn't get to talk about everything today.
Okay.
That's for sure. I mean, there's a couple more hats we didn't get to flip over, and so I'm excited to bring you back on for a second time and keep this conversation going.
Thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your audience, Jonah, for the great things that you are doing, enlightening people on their journey. And I think it's very important to have people like you to help others as well to get greater understanding about life and about different things. And I'll be very happy to come again. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm very, very grateful to be with you and with your audience. And I wish you a lot of success with the podcast, with the Blue Enlightenment, and to your audience as well. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
I appreciate that. And give me 2 seconds after we press stop and get everything downloaded, and we'll move everything over and hit play on your side.
Yes, yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody. That's all the time we have for today. Head over and check out our website, thebceshow.com, where you can subscribe to the email list and contact us. But remember to leave us a rate and review. Helps the podcast with that pesky algorithm. Thanks for listening, y'all.